I'm Esaul Ramos, co-owner and pitmaster of Smokehouse. It started becoming real maybe in high school, but for me it started a lot earlier than that. Maybe when I was about 15, 14 years old. My pops, he would always be cooking on the weekends and stuff. And then of course, growing up Hispanic, you always have a bunch of people over at the house and you're always doing stuff on the weekends and things. So there was always flavors, there was always smells that were really cool. I'd be seeing my old man cooking this food, and after a while, it'd start coming out a little darker and darker and darker. It got to the point where I told my dad, let me start cooking. Along the way, when I started that, I started getting more and more into barbecue, and it started becoming more of a passion. I started loving it more and more, and I started seeing how difficult it was. And then I got into high school and I met Joe. That's when I met my business partner. As the years went on, we always talked about one day being able to open up and have our own barbecue joint. And so from there, life kind of took a hold of us. Joe went one way, he had a family, career. I went another way, and I decided to keep pursuing it, and I kept barbecuing as much as I could every weekend, and trying to hone my skills and getting better and better. And lost my job one day, which was great, and it landed me in Austin. The moment I discovered, that Austin had this barbecue scene, it changed my whole entire perception of what I thought barbecue was and what I always knew barbecue could be. And so that was really neat. So because of that, I would travel a lot to Austin, back and forth. And I would go a lot to La Barbecue. I started talking a lot with John Lewis, and we kind of formed a friendship. When nobody hired me here, I said, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and let's just do it. Like, I'm gonna go see if maybe I can get hired in Austin. I went to Austin, I talked to John, and I was like, hey man, I would love to work here. Is there any way that can happen? I went back home, and about a week later, he called me, and he was like, hey man, I don't have the position that you wanted, but this position for pitmaster opened up. He goes, I don't know if you want to come and cook. And I was like, that's what I want to do. From there, I was there for a good 2 years, and then I left the barbecue, and then I came back home. I remember calling up Joe that night, and I was like, hey man, I'm going ahead. I'm gonna resign from the barbecue. I'm gonna take some time. I'm gonna travel a little bit. I want to learn some more stuff. I visited the Carolinas real quick. I went to Utah, visited my buddy. I went down to Mexico, learned some stuff over there. That was really neat. And then came back home, sat down with Joe. We went over a game plan. We were like, okay, we're gonna do it, which was kind of tough, because for me to come in and tell my best friend, hey man, leave your cushy job, even though you have a wife and she's pregnant and you have a kid, and all this is happening. Let's go ahead and just take a chance on us. We started off with pop-ups in Lido, Texas, which is a little town. And that didn't go so well. So we went back to the drawing board, and I remember I found this place on Craigslist. The guy wanted to sell it. We didn't have the money to buy it. So I worked out a deal with him, and he was okay with that. 4 years later, here we are. So that's been really wild. Not only is it me and my best friend, but now it's like I have my wife. She's a pastry chef now. She graduated, and I mean, we have a pastry chef now. And to be able to have somebody that knows that side, that not something I have to figure out, someone else has to figure out, that's really, really neat. And so that helps us, elevate 2M to another level, which is really neat. And she works on desserts and breads and whatever else she wants to. In the beginning, we were trying to fine-tune the menu. We wanted to figure out, what it is that we wanted to offer. The sausage is something that I really wanted to take my time with. I could have gone the traditional route, which is just, beef and pork blend, jalapeno cheddar, but I wanted to do something a little bit more different. I wanted to do something that was more our flavor, our style. So I just went straight pork. I brought in Oaxaca cheese instead of, cheddar cheese, serranos instead of jalapenos. We have, there's oreganos in there, there's cilantro in there, there's onion powders and stuff like that. And we blended it all together. It took me a while, but we got it down. I'm very proud of that sausage now. That's a really good staple that we have here. Our brisket's another thing, you know, we brought in a lot of flavors. There's salt and pepper is always the base of things, you know, but it's really nice because we could bring in some onion powders, and we have garlic powders, and, you know, cumin, and we have things like that, and that's what builds up our flavor in our brisket, and that's really neat, you know. And then on top of that, it's really good quality, so everything just blends in together and melts in your mouth and creates this really nice flavor profile in there. Our pork ribs are simple, super simple. Nothing crazy about them. Salt and pepper, and we finish them off with a nice little glaze, sweet glaze. I love sweet ribs, so I always tell people I cook for myself, you know, so it's like I love sweet ribs, so I knew I was gonna bring that in there. Turkey, same thing, salt and pepper, and we just finish it off with a little bit of honey. I think it's really nice. We let it sit in butter. That's our turkey. Really nice, really simple. Our pulled pork is super simple. We season it on the block, salt, and we make a really nice green salsa that goes with it. And we just, you know, that's our sauce for our pulled pork. We have like beef cheeks every first Sunday of the month, and we bring in barbacoa, and we go onto the sides. I mean, our sides are pretty cool. We have a white macaroni that we make with Oaxaca cheese. And we top it with pork rinds. I always kind of thought, like, what am I gonna top my macaroni with? And I was eating a bag of pork rinds when I was trying to figure that out, and my wife pointed it out. And I was like, okay, why not? Let's just go ahead and top it with this. The beans are actually really cool. It's my mom's recipe, you know, it's like borracho beans, and they taste amazing. I think they taste phenomenal. But then again, everybody that thinks their mother's beans taste phenomenal, so you got that. We brought in corn. Corn's our newest side. I mean, not new, but, you know, new to us. Everybody seems to really gravitate towards that, so I'm really happy about that. Other than that, you know, it's kind of just playing to the flavors that we grew up with. I mean, we pickle everything in house, which is cool. You know, I pickle my bell peppers. We have nopales. My wife makes these really cool, like, tres leches rotating flavors and stuff, so that's been really neat. The menu from top to bottom it's a reflection of us, you know, and it's a reflection of kind of the flavors that we grew up with. And, you know, we always say that we leave it all on the tray. So here at 2M, we cook with posto. It's not what I grew up cooking with. Being in San Antonio, you grow up cooking a lot with mesquite. My dad cooked with nothing but mesquite. When I went to Austin, I learned about post oak. It's a subtle smoke flavor. It's just, you know, it's just a hint. It's not overbearing, it's not overpowering. It burns the way you need it to. It could burn low and it could burn high. And that's what I like about it. So that's our choice of wood. And I think I'm gonna stick with it for now. To be where we're at right now, in the amount of time that it's taken us to be where we're at right now, has been really amazing. There's certain goals that I wanna accomplish, and there's certain things that I wanna accomplish, and I will not stop until I do accomplish those things. And I've accomplished some of them, but not all of them. And whether I'm on the top or on the bottom or on the middle, there is no ceiling for me. So there should never be a ceiling for anybody, you know? And barbecue is what we want to make out of it. And it's constantly evolving, and it's constantly growing. It's constantly becoming different things. And people are figuring out different ways to use it. People are starting to understand their pits a lot more these days, you know? So for me, here at 2M, every day, it's keep your head down and work. And that's what we're gonna do. That's what we've been doing. That's what we're gonna keep doing. And I mean, however much further we can go, we're gonna push the limits, because why not? So being here is great. I mean, I love what I do. I love being at the restaurant. Most of the time, this is where you're gonna find me. But there's so much more to barbecue now, you know? I mean, there's festivals now that we're a part of, and the fact that barbecue is as big as it is now, and it's becoming not only nationally, but globally. All of our hard work, everything that, you know, a lot of us cooks have been doing is now being appreciated. And that's what's cool. I mean, being here is great, but being at these festivals and meeting people and, you know, being just that whole camaraderie, you know, just being around everybody, that's what barbecue should be all about, you know? It's like we all get together and you get to see things, and you get to see how this guy does this and this guy does this, and you get to meet this person and go over here, and, you know, just being able to do what we do because of barbecue has been awesome. So I'm Esaul Ramos, owner of 2M Smokehouse here in San Antonio. I'm happy to share my barbecue story with you here in the Barbecue League.